So I spend my days going around looking for antiques which are scarce, beautiful, unusual, most importantly, that tell a story. And I then bring them back here to my unit, I photograph them, I put them available on my website, and I share that story with the world. And that's what I'm doing this video for, is to show you some of the amazing things I found locally. And I live in South Wales in the UK. It's amazing the incredible things you can find from across the world probably in every local area in the UK. Now I'm going to start off with something which is absolutely amazing. I've only ever seen these in reference books before. Have a look at this. Oh, I bet you're not expecting what I've got here. Look at my friend here. A hand-carved hobby horse. Look, with the wheels and everything there. What an amazing thing. Look at just the character, the charm of this thing. And I say it's completely hand-carved. The facial features, down to the teeth, down to the mane. Then you've got this, you've got the paw and the wheels as well. Can you imagine the joy that would have brought somebody, a child, back before when there was, before the time when we got what we got these days, the tablets, the computer games. Whoever had this was the envy of all the other children in the playground. And they would play like that. What do I look like that? So they would hold it there, run around, and of course, makes it look like they're on a horse. Now, in terms of the age of this thing, look, I'm looking for little signs of age. In theory, something like this could have been made at any point, couldn't it? So you're looking for factors that give away when it was probably made. Now, on the wheels here, I don't know how well you're going to see this, but all the nails are hand hammered. Now, if they're hand hammered, that should suggest it goes back to a time when they were the nails that were being used. Machine-made nails come in during the Industrial Revolution, during the Victorian era. So hand-hammered nails kind of start to phase out around the early 20th century. What you're also looking for is what's the newest thing on this piece? And I'd say it's probably the eyes here. So the eyes are resin. So again, this probably means that given everything taken into account, it's probably early 20th century. It might be later. It could be mid 20th century. Who knows? This has been done by hand. However, it's probably worth pointing out, I don't think it's the only one that was made. I have looked online and there are similar ones out there. So it looks like somebody was pretty good at making them and hopefully made quite a good living, because these are awesome things. So yeah, this was in my local area. I saw on Facebook Marketplace and I couldn't get in my car quick enough to go and get it. And what an amazing thing to be able to put on my website. And think about that as, look, it could be used by a child if you want to give your kids something authentic and old to play with. But what an interior piece, what a thing to just tell a story. And yep, that will be made available on my website. Now I've got loads more things to show you, so keep watching. Thank you for watching today. If you don't know me, my name is Kieran Hughes Jones and my website is talliesinantiques.com. So go over and have a look at the website after you've watched this video, because all these items are going to be made available there with all the pictures and all the information. So go and have a look and see what else is on there as well. Now we're going to carry on. I'm going to show you something else I found, and this was local in a car boot sale. In fact, I'll show you how I first saw it. It was like that amongst a stack of plates, just stacked up. Now something I saw pretty much that image and it looked different to all the other plates to me. And then I looked at it and I saw this. Now anyone who is familiar with Chinese porcelain has certainly seen this pattern before. It's a very famous pattern known as the Rose Medallion pattern. In the Famille Rose, a colour palette which is referring to the pink enamels especially. Now this pattern is one of the most popular export pieces from China from the 19th century onwards. In fact, this was so popular that you'll see this pattern being made for over 100 years. Now what I love about this one is that actually this is one of the older pieces. This goes back to the time when this pattern was first being made. And I'll show you the back as well, as there will be people who know their Chinese porcelain and will understand that the foot there is a good indicator of age. Also the gold paint is that dollar. It's not a chemical, it's not got chemicals within it, it's using actual gold powder. What really gives this away though, a little trick of the trade, if you look at the figural scenes there, you will see the gold paint used in the hair. Now that was a practice that was phased out on this pattern after the early 19th century. So this is a really good find, a beautiful piece of Chinese porcelain. And from those early days, what I love about this is that in Europe and even in the USA as well, this pattern was so popular that they just kept on making it for that market. And it's amazing to think that this is from the early days of that export. So a beautiful plate, great to go into a Chinese porcelain collection, and is now available. So we're going to move from China, we're going to go quite a bit south now to Thailand and show you a piece of porcelain from there. Here we have, I think this is absolutely stunning. This is a Benjarong storage pot made in porcelain and hand painted with these beautiful enamels. Now this is known as Benjarong, and it translates to 5 colours. Originated in the Ming Dynasty in China and became very popular in South Asia, particularly Thailand, also the other countries around there. And this is just a stunning decorative piece. Have a look at that. Now this is not old. I can tell straight away from the bottom. It's hand painted in Thailand. I was under no illusion that it was. I bought it from a lady at a car boot sale. She said she bought it herself back in, she said, decades ago. So this probably comes from the 80s or 70s when she was travelling there. And yeah, look, this is a piece for tourists. You know, there's no doubt about it. The fact it's written in English would suggest that. But I think this is a good example that just because something was made to be a souvenir, it doesn't diminish the quality. This was still made in a beautiful way. The shape, the colours, that on the shelf just looked absolutely stunning. And I was very pleased to take it home. So look, I'm an antiques dealer. I love old things, but that doesn't mean I can't buy things which are beautiful. I'm just doing it. I don't know if this is going to come across and you can hear that, but you can actually just hear the quality of the porcelain just when you rub your fingers around it like that. Absolutely over the moon with this. A beautiful thing, and I think someone's going to love that for many, many years. Okay, I have to confess, this next thing I'm going to show you is not something I've bought recently. I've had this a while and actually used this in my house. We love this so much. We're now having a bit of a change due to a newborn on the way, so it has to go out, and good news for you lot, this is available. Look at that. This is an amazing cast iron doorstop in the form of a lighthouse. Now this is actually an American folk art piece, and by folk art I mean that it wasn't made by somebody who was necessarily well trained. It has a little bit of naivety. I mean, when I'm looking now, I can see some of the glazes spilling over, and yeah, you know, it's not meant to be refined like a perfect piece. But this is awesome, and it's come from America. This lighthouse is based on one in Cape Hatteras. I think I've said that. Someone please correct me if I've got that wrong. Which is in North Carolina, and it just looks amazing. Look at it, it's so tall for a doorstop as well. Now there has been, if you look these up, you will see more modern versions of this. This one comes from the early 20th century. If you look at the back, you can just see this has got all the age and rusting, and yeah, this has lived for many years, and it's a very effective doorstop, I can tell you that. Got this, yeah, it's just got this nice industrial look to it as well. What can I say? Look, it's been aged. It's taller than you would expect a doorstop as well. And this possibly was used even in a shop, or used to hold back a very heavy door because of the size of it. Absolutely awesome thing. It's just got that look that you want in your house. Really shows its age and its character, and what a stunning piece of American art. But yeah, sad to see it go because we've enjoyed this for many years. However, now it's time for someone else to enjoy it. Found in Wales, made in Egypt. That's what this drum is. What a beautiful thing. And this is not just a drum to play, and you can see from the wear on the hide, it certainly has enjoyed many years of use. This has also been made as a decorative item. Here you see all these mosaics, and this is mother of pearl, and put on some inlaid wood as well to make up these geometric patterns, which is in Islamic art the type of pattern which has been popular for many years and has a strong history there. Now this is, on the top it is an animal hide leather. On the bottom you've got this terracotta, and yes, this was found in South Wales at a car boot sale. That's what I find is amazing. This was made for a market in Egypt, possibly in the local region. Wouldn't have been made to be exported to the UK, but it's made its way here. And what an amazing piece for the home. That can go in a corner, and it looks beautiful anyway. It's got that, it's really beautifully decorative. This mother of pearl inlay is just fantastically well done. But of course, it's got a functional use as well. If you want to, you know, if you've got some guests over and you want to have a bit of a play, maybe you want to do a bit of a jam, you've got the perfect hand drum here. I mean, anyone can play it. So there we go, another fantastic find in Wales and now available to go across the world if it's for you. I've got two items which are going to bring into the focus this idea of what tourist art is. And I was at a car boot sale and there was a store with a lot of African wood carvings, and a lot of the buyers around there were talking about whether they were tourist art or not, and they were being quite diminishing of if it were tourist art they wouldn't be interested, and then they were saying some things weren't tourist art, and look, I know that they were. The thing about tourist art is that is anything that's been made to be sold. It hasn't been made for a ritual or ceremonial reason or to be used in the home. It's been made to make money. And the thing about that, which is quite frustrating to hear, is people talking about that negatively, because there are pieces of tourist art which are absolute masterpieces and deserve the credit just for how well they are made. Now I'm going to show you two items which really show this, because I bought a couple of these African wood carvings. First I have this. Now this is more likely to come from Western Africa, based on the wood and the style, and it's a known figure or pose with African carvings, known as the thinking man pose, with these elongated arms and legs. Look at the detail in the face there. That is completely realistic. That's a really thoughtful and intricate piece of tourist art, if you want to call it that, but really it's a wood carving done in real quality, has really good size, and it's going to look like it's going to be an amazing interior piece. So that's one. We're going to go to the other side of Africa and have a look at this, and this is equally as good, and I don't care why they made it. The person who carved this has done an incredible job. Look at that snarling lion with its huge mane. I mean, the proportions are great. They've gone to the detail of the muscles. You know, it's just, how good is that? Have you seen any lion carvings as good as that? And yes, this was more likely to come from East Africa, Kenya, Tanzania, I would have thought. But yeah, the fact that why they made this doesn't matter to me. That if it was made, for example, if that came out of the Black Forest in Switzerland, people would be going crazy for it. And you know what's funny? Black Forest carvings are tourist art as well. Troika, you know, Troika pottery, that's tourist art. Chinese export porcelain is the same thing. It's been made for money, it's been made for market. So when we're talking about tourist art, it's not a negative thing. You look at the quality of the piece, what it's representing, and the skill of the craftsmanship. And I think those two pieces, I'll show you them again because they're so good. They're as good as any wood carvings you're going to see, and I was more than happy to buy them. Now, I've actually done a video on the subject of understanding African art, and I'm just going to recommend, if you haven't seen it before, go and have a watch of it, and it tells a story of different pieces and where they come from. So here's a link, and go and have a watch of that. Now, I found a piece at a car boot sale sitting on a stall which really told a story about British studio pottery. Now, studio pottery in Britain really took off during the 20th century, and it was a way for individual potters to do something different from the industrial factory-made potters that were coming out and, you know, producing a lot of items. And British studio pottery is all about individualism, expressionism, doing something which is experimental and different. And here is the one I found. If you see that, it was just sat on the table like that. I love this angular form handle. I love the kind of abstract, free-flowing glaze across the piece. A lovely decorative jug, and that's what it was made for, was just to sit and look like, you know, look like an unusual, nicely angled, shaped item on a shelf. Now, this piece is signed on the base, Rickie Gauld, a contemporary potter, so I believe still going today, and I think they've done a fantastic piece of work there. Very happy to find it. Love the British studio pottery movement. Like to see it encouraged, and I really think it's something that people will enjoy buying. Just get things which look, it's great. That's what I love about British studio pottery. You'll just see things which speak to you. You don't have to explain why. You don't have to know why. You know, some people will look at this and maybe not understand why I bought it. I'm sure there's many of you out there who absolutely love the shape and colours and glaze of this piece. So there we go, another nice find locally at the car boot sale. So I'm going to show you one more item in this video, and before I do, I just want to make you aware of my social media pages and this YouTube channel. I am putting regular shorter videos on these channels to give you updates on items and show you some of the other pieces I have. So always look for Taliesin Antiques. Same as the YouTube channel. I'm on TikTok, Instagram and on Facebook, and then you have the YouTube channel. Give me a follow or subscribe on there and you'll see these videos coming out regularly. Now back onto this piece, have a look at this. This is a lovely planter. I love this sort of deep green colour. Then you have these dimples all around the edges, and you've got this rib design in scallop shape. Now this is made by a pottery called Bretby. Bretby come from the late 19th century, and they're known for being part of this arts and crafts movement, which was a kind of rejection of factory made industry, which was becoming very popular under the Industrial Revolution. These pottery coming out, which were always exactly the same. The focus of Bretby and all the other arts and crafts movements was to be handmade, and every item being a little bit more distinctive. And you can see this has all been moulded perfectly by hand. As signed on the base, made in England. Now the fact it says made in England tells us it's not from the late 19th century. The made in England is an export mark that was required on all pieces that were potentially going to be exported out of the country, particularly to America. So this is going to be from the early 20th century. In fact, this probably sat, I don't know if you've seen them before, on one of those like large jardiniere stands, and this was probably on top of one of those. So this is a lovely piece, really happy to find it. It was there, sat on the floor at a car boot sale. These type of green pieces, I think it's a piece of Majolica as well. Majolica is known for kind of those expressive and unusual designs and flowing shapes. So there we are, a beautiful planter, which is going to be for someone else to enjoy now. That is going to look great in the home. There's actually, what you find with these is a little bit of iridescence in the glaze as well. I think you can probably see that, which is quite distinctive to Bretby. So yeah, another nice find. Very happy to get that. So there we are, there are all the pieces today. I would like to thank you for watching, and let me know if there was anything in particular that you really liked, or any comments you have on any of the pieces that you've seen today. So until the next time, I've got more things to go out and find. I've got more videos to make to show you these incredible things that I'm just finding locally. And if there's any questions you have for me, please also leave them in the comments. So thanks again. I'll see you all soon. All the best. Bye bye now.